I have had to edit out my intro for this episode. This one hits too close to home. This will probably be the most unpopular opinion on the internet, but here goes. Black lives do not matter. Black lives do not matter. Black lives do not matter to Caucasians, Asians, or any other race that exists on this planet. But most importantly, Black lives do not matter to Black people. For those of you who are still here listening, hear me out. How many times have we been where we are today? How many times throughout history have we been publicly brutalized and dehumanized? It seems that we have become desensitized to the constant barrage that we endure covertly and overtly on a daily basis. There are entities that literally work day and night to shape our perception of the world and ourselves, promoting division and self-hate. It's no wonder that Black men in urban inner city environments slaughter each other disproportionately. Yes, all crime from burglary to homicide are committed at exceedingly high rates within the same ethnic group. However, I will be focusing on us in this podcast. Before I continue, every negative point that I mention occurs within every single racial group, but we cannot attempt to change our existence by protesting, screaming, marching and looting, pandering to the derivatives of families and institutions that were built off of the slaughter and rape of our ancestors, and who have never and will never deem us worthy or at the very least equal. I am highlighting reoccurring diseases within our community. We need to address the man in the mirror. So to continue, in our everyday lives, we mistreat ourselves and each other. We eat poisonous and toxic foods, support and promote outright racist brands and so-called celebrities, and we do not collectively support each other's businesses. Oh, and by the way, buying black for one day or a week or a month does not cut it. The Jewish community, for the most part, spend their money, time, and resources amongst themselves within their independent communities. And yes, we had that. Thriving Black societies in many cities and towns within the Western Hemisphere, but those who control the system did everything to destroy that, physically torching our prosperity to the ground, forcing us to become reliant upon a complex that profits off of our blood, sweat, and tears, literally, giving us peanuts in exchange for our souls. But I digress. While we march screaming, Black Lives Matter, which, by the way, is a movement that has been financed and infiltrated by billionaire George Soros, an Hungarian American and a so-called philanthropist. We continue to beat our women, in some cases to death, and support Black artists who glorify killing our own, who endorse drug use amongst our children and encourage young girls and women to aspire to be whores. If our Black lives really mattered, we would not be advocating everything that contributes to our demise. Single mothers would not exist. Black men would honour their seed and women, nurturing and protecting their most vital legacy. Black men will not candidly demote Black women. Now that I have addressed unquestionable cancers within our community, and I'm going to reiterate again for total clarity that yes, these atrocities are rife amongst all races. However, in our case, these are symptoms of a systematic scheme that is in place and is out of our control. In the words of Lord Macaulay, a British secretary at war in 1835, and I quote, "I have travelled across the length of Africa, and I have not seen one person who is a beggar or a thief. Such wealth I have seen in this country, such high moral values, people of such calibre, that I do not think we would ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation, which is her spiritual and cultural heritage, and therefore I propose that we replace her old and ancient education system, her culture. For if the Africans think that all that is foreign and English is good and greater than their own, they will lose their self-esteem, their native culture, and they will become, we want them, a truly dominated nation." This was quoted in 1835, people. As I said at the beginning of this podcast, what is taking place today is nothing new. Let's not be virtual signals. Let's not be reactionary. Let's be productive. A war cannot be won utilizing emotions. And I know it's hard, and I know a lot of people, including myself, are hurting right now, are angry, upset, but the old way is not working. Instead, let's plan, prepare, and execute. Find like-minded individuals, come together with your skill set, and let's rebuild our nations. Those in control do not fear protest. The thing they fear the most is unity amongst us all. I'll end with this quote from Malcolm X, who said, "The Negro Revolution is no revolution because it condemns the system and then asks the system it has condemned to accept them." I love each and every single one of you. Let's make the necessary changes and clean house. Refuse to succumb to the destructive temptations that surround us, because we are all that we have. Peace. Oh, but when I look around and I see what's being done to mankind, every day I'm being hunted as prey. My people don't want no trouble. We've had enough struggle. I just wanna live.